We hope you enjoy this series. Welcome to Discover Tasmania. After spending the weekend with family and attending a nephew's engagement party, congratulations to Hannah and Zach, we are ready to do some more exploring. The night was spent with friends as they showed off their location with a stunning sunset. Up early, we were greeted with a layer of fog covering Beams's Hollow, which is not far from where we used to live at Hadspin. We remember the days when the fog lifted at 11 in the morning and started to descend again about 3 o'clock in the afternoon. Yep, don't miss that at all. Our first stop today was the small town of Beaconsfield. This little place hit the headlines back on the 25th of April 2006, but more of that soon. Well, good morning. Here we are. We've tootled down to the gold mining town of Beaconsfield. So Liz and I have left our friends. We're heading down. We've got a day to kill, and then we're heading over to the east coast, over towards Anson's Bay for a few days. But the first stop this morning is down at the gold mining town of Beaconsfield. Now, I wouldn't say it became famous, got quite a bit of exposure when there was a cave-in here back in 2006, if I remember correctly. It's funny how in history, unique things that have happened, always, you know where you were when you heard about that. And I hadn't been in Queensland long. It was 2006 and I was actually in Mackay. Woke up and turned the telly on, and there was Koshi and the team in Beaconsfield. So they spent the week till they got the guys out. Now, there were 3 guys that were trapped. Unfortunately, one of them lost their life. The other 2 managed to survive. So it was, it was a sad time for the town, for sure. But Beaconsfield was brought up on its heritage was in gold mining, but as the storyboards around the town tell you, it's apart from the gold, it was also the people that were most important and actually built the community, which is quite true. So we're going to have a bit of a wander around. There's a little walk you can do with storyboards around the place. We're a bit early. The Heritage Centre hasn't opened yet, so we'll get in there a little bit later, and then we'll have a look around. I haven't been down here for years and years. When I left, it was an operating gold mine. So it's now, I believe, totally closed. But it was originally, the first shaft was opened, a grub shaft, in 1905. So that's how far it goes back. There we go. All right, we'll wander around and we'll take you guys along for the walk. There you go. I mentioned that the mine was opened in 1902, but I was actually wrong. It was established June 1877. You see, you should read all the boards before you start passing comments. So there you go. Well, we head down and have a toastie while we wait for the museum to open. Both the West and East Tamar regions were littered with apple orchards back in the day, growing varieties including Fuji, Red and Golden Delicious, Braeburn and Gala are the major ones. While some remain, many have been replanted for wine, as this region also lends itself to good wine grape growing. Water wheels were an icon in Beaconsfield in the late 19th century. They were used to drive stamper batteries for crushing the quartz, and this is a working model of a 12-head stamper. Shut down in 2012 due to flooding. So here we are having lunch at Beauty Point. It's a really nice day, bit of breeze, it's still a bit chilly, but we just left the Beaconsfield mine complex. Wow, wasn't that exciting? 2 hours we spent there, just over. Some really interesting stuff. So we're going to have lunch and then we still don't know where we're going. So your guess is as good as mine. We might just get the dart and hit the map somewhere. There you go, a couple of wraps for lunch, nice and easy. We have had a bit of a catastrophe. There's a can of Coke. Even though it was in one of the sleeves, it was actually ruptured. So we'll have some lunch. We'll probably need to clean that before we go any further. Yeah. And then just do a quick restock. All right, I'm going to get into my wrap. Cheers, guys. Our next stop was Yorktown, which was the 5th oldest settlement in Australia behind Sydney, Norfolk Island, Risdon Cove and Hobart. This is a place of national importance which provides a rare window into our fascinating and often turbulent colonial past. It was settled in December 1804 under the leadership of Lieutenant Colonel William Patterson and became the capital of northern Tasmania. In 1806 it had a population of 276. This grew to around 300 by 1807. On Patterson's return to the settlement after being away, he found that many of the farms had been abandoned. Good grazing land, fresh water and an excellent deep water port were some of the things which prompted Patterson to propose a move to more fertile plains near the cataract, the present site of Launceston. The artefacts that we found here back at the Beaconsfield Museum. bloody snaky territory, so I'm making sure I keep my eyes on the ground, right? Wouldn't have been a bad place to build your house, eh? Certainly cleaned it, nice clear patch up on a bit of a rise. Oh, Lizzie Patterson, huh? This weatherboard hut was erected to demonstrate the approximate size that a military officer and their family would have lived in at the time. We continued on and ended up camping at the Greens Beach Caravan Park. After setting up our camp, we drove out to the Asbestos Range National Park lookout. Now known as Natawatapu, the name was changed in 2000 over concerns that the word asbestos was deterring potential visitors. This is the eastern end of the beach, with West Badger and Badger's Head in the distance. After dinner, we took a walk onto the beach towards the lighthouse and got some photos of the Pacific Gulls. Well, Liz, we didn't get far yesterday.
No, we didn't. But we didn't know where we were going to end up.
No, we didn't. It was actually a fun day because we didn't know where we were going to end up. We had a game, we had a few things penciled in, and we're nowhere near them. So we left our friend's place. We decided to come down the West Tamar. We ultimately didn't have a plan at all. So I thought, well, let's go down the West Tamar. They've built a new museum and heritage. So we went in and had a look at that, and you've seen a bit of that on the video already, and that was an awesome place. You know, we spent about a bit over 2 hours there,
yeah.
And you know, you could have spent more without doubt, but we had a good look around. Just steeped in history. There's also, like, apart from the mining stuff, there's all the heritage stuff. We found where we were somewhere, and some of the bits from there have actually been moved. Oh, Yorktown. So we've got some footage of that, and that's all about sort of the resettlement before it became Launceston. But a lot of the artefacts that were found there are in that museum at Beaconsfield. So that was pretty cool.
Oh, it's interesting.
And then it was 3 o'clock.
Let's keep driving.
Let's keep driving. So we drove in and we went down past Clarence Point, past Garden Island, and then back out onto the highway. So we do a bit of a loop and then into
Greens Beach.
And we looked at the clock and went, you know what, why don't we just stop there?
Yes. So
we called into the caravan park, had room, so we backed it in and set up, had a night there, so it was lovely. We just went for a bit of a walk down onto the beach.
Went up to the lookout?
Went up to the lookout, went for a walk up there.
In the Narrawontapu National Park.
What used to be called the Asbestos Ranges National Park. So today, our destination is Anson's Bay. My brother's got a property up there that he's staying on, and we're going to go up and stay with them for a few days. But we're going to take our time and get there. We're going to sneak across the river onto the East Tamar, have a look what's south of the Batman Bridge. So we're going to go across the infamous Batman Bridge, down towards Low Head, have a look around down there, and then back out onto the Bridport Highway. It'll take us through to Bridport probably around lunchtime-ish.
Maybe.
Yeah, and then
we'll see.
And then we'll just sneak through to Anson's from there. All right, guys, we hope you're enjoying what you're seeing of Tasmania. It's just bringing back so many memories. But I guess for me, we're going to lots of places that if I went when I was a kid. Our hobbies took us in other directions, so a lot of this we didn't see. So we're really enjoying. We could actually be in another state, and just because there's so many places that we hadn't been when you lived here, and we're all guilty of that, I'm sure.
Yes, and like you, as you said yesterday, your father brought you down to Garden Island to do some fishing.
Yep, I'd finished high school, and as a bit of a treat, he took the day off, and we came down to Garden Island and went and had a counter meal, spent the day fishing. So yeah, it was just all those sort of memories flooding back. So no, it's good, really enjoying it. All right, well, we'll catch you guys a little bit further down the road.
And
Cheers.
keep moving.
And keep moving. Cheers. It didn't take long for those plans to change, and it wasn't long and we were actually heading out to Badger's Head. So that headland that you see in the background, that's where we were. So the lookout was up on the point of that, and then we were looking back along this beach. So this is the other end of that big beach that we were at. Yeah, all right, well, a bit overcast this morning. We've just packed up. As soon as we started to pack up, it damn well rained for about 15 minutes, 20 minutes, just enough to be a pest. We'll just continue on from here. Cheers. We found a winery that we had purchased wine from in the past online, so it would only be polite to visit, wouldn't it? Holm Oak is a labour of love for winemakers and viticulturists Beck and Tim Duffy. Since 2006, they have followed their dream of crafting delicious expressions of cool climate Tasmanian wines. They are creative winemakers, pushing boundaries and trying new techniques, but always remaining true to Tasmania's highly regarded winemaking reputation. There's a range of award-winning wines on offer. We enjoyed a tasting of a variety of their wines, but the Pinot was a standout for us. Then it was off to find somewhere for lunch.
So John, where are we?
Well, Liz, we've pulled up underneath the Batman Bridge for lunch. We'll give you a few specs about the bridge shortly, but yeah, it's a little spot, little turnout, and we'll be driving across it very shortly. There was an interesting video at Beaconsfield at the museum in regards to the building of that bridge. The issue is it's situated on a part of the river that's called Whirlpool Reach, and the water running through there runs really, really quickly and disturbs and ends up with all these whirlpools. It's quite difficult for boats to navigate, so they didn't want to span in the middle of the river. So hence the reason for the frame that is the Batman Bridge. So yeah. With the morning consumed with our drive out to Badger's Head and wine tasting, we stopped under the bridge for an early lunch. The time was starting to get away from us, as it had done yesterday, so we left the bottom part of the East Tamar for a later date. Taking the Flinders Highway, this is a pretty cool drive through farmland and beach resorts. We would pass through Bridport, Gladstone and ultimately into Anson's Bay. The weather had been a bit crappy, but as we headed further east you could see a break and some blue sky. Hopefully, this is what would greet us on our arrival. We weren't doing so good, so it was time for a move. Go! Well, that wasn't in the script. Here we go. Start singing now. Michael, row your boat ashore. Michael, row the boat ashore. You're telling I give you. Look how big mine is.
In front of the camera, got the camera rolling and everything.
Oh no.
Double hook up.
What a double hook up.
Done it with Sam side of it, I think.
Foul looked him again. They get close to it. You know they don't count for it, don't they? Oh, you got. Yeah, that's big. You know what they say about a bad day fishing. What a great day spent with one of my brothers. Thanks for sharing this amazing spot. To Bert, Jackie and Mackenzie, we hope you enjoyed the rest of your holiday.
It's small.
How many mountains to get some confidence? How many
With the January long weekend fast approaching, we needed some supplies before heading into Musselrow Bay, so we headed into St Helens to stock up.
I'm still the same. What will it take? Why the way? Up and down, I'm losing ground. Pretender, tell me what to believe. I ain't got a sweet tooth for lying.
For those that don't know our connection with this place, I will put a link in the description of our trip last year.
Ooh, ooh, what to do? I am me and not you. Ooh, ooh, what to say? Please make the strain go away. Pretender. How many right turns to reach some kind of goal? How many dressing up for me to play some ball? Seasons change, still the same range. What will it take? Tell me why the wait? Up and down, I'm moving around. Pretender, tell me what to believe. I ain't got a sweet tooth for lying. Expender, show me how to suck.
With the wind ripping in from the northwest, fishing was out of the question, so we took advantage and went for a walk.
What to do? I am me and not you.
Our legs were getting blasted by the sand as it was blown down the beach. Crabs took shelter in clumps of seaweed, whilst the seagulls, struggling to take flight, fed amongst the crayweed that had been dumped on the beach from an easterly swell earlier in the week.
Succeed. My wallet is spreading thin. Oh, ooh, ooh, what to do? I am me and not you. Ooh, ooh, what to say? Please make the strain go away. Pretender. How many right turns to reach some kind of goal? How many dressing up for me to play some ball? Seasons change, still the same range. What will it take? Tell me why the wait? Up and down, I'm moving around. Pretender, tell me what to believe. I ain't got a sweet tooth for lying. Expender, show me how to succeed. My wallet is spreading thin. Oh, ooh, ooh, what to do? I am me and not you. Ooh, ooh,
Finally, the weather
what
god
to
smiled
say?
on us,
Please
and the
make
wind
the
dropped out,
strain go
allowing us to get the boats in the water. We caught some squid the first day and then headed offshore the next day, targeting some flathead and shark. Whilst we were out fishing, Liz took the opportunity to take a few photos. There we are, cleaning the fish that we caught. Woohoo!
Please make the string
It wasn't long and we were on our way again and heading back to Launceston to pick up Melly. But before that, we stopped in at Tomahawk, a small seaside village in the Ringarooma Bay on the north coast. It was that nice we actually found a spot at the caravan park and stayed the night.
Ooh, ooh, what you change?